Hello, welcome everybody to Wellbeing Mastery Show. I am Monica and I have created this show to help you step onto the path of true health and well-being, no matter where you are at right now. I have invited outstanding experts, teachers, mentors, and healers to guide you to connect with your own healing power of your body and take back your health and your life. So let's go. And today we have really honorable guests and they mean a lot to me personally. So I am not just excited, I'm honored and really look forward for you to listen to what they will have to share. So let me introduce you to Anna Forrest and Jose Calarco from Anna Forrest Yoga or Forrest Yoga. And Anna Forrest is an inspiration, has been changing people's lives for over 45 years. She's an internationally recognized pioneer in yoga and emotional healing. She's the creatrix of Forrest Yoga, a mystic, visionary, philanthropist, author, and medicine woman. Anna crafted Forrest Yoga while working through healing from her own life's traumas, abuse, and addictions, and the helplessness around those addictions. And on top of that, ongoing suffering from chronic pain and injuries. The process of healing herself inspired Anna to teach others how to really connect with themselves, how to heal themselves, and physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And today we have Anna and Jose Calarco together, which is a special treat. Jose joined forces with Anna in 2014 and brings a long history of shamanism and healing into Forest Yoga events. Jose's experience as a musician, medicine man, and director of Descendants Aboriginal Dance Theatre spans more than 30 years. Jose has incorporated ceremony, music, dance, ancient healing techniques, veganism, and First Nation philosophies into Forest Yoga, helping students move from the ordinary to the extraordinary. So I cannot wait for the extraordinary today to happen. Welcome.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you,
Thank
Monica.
you for being here. And I just want to say a few sentences of how I know about you, Anna, and what you mean to me in my life. Because probably close to 2 decades ago, I was in a place where I was a complete mess. Mentally, spiritually, physically, and I had been a martial artist. I wasn't afraid of exercise, but somehow miraculously, I came across your 5-day intensive yoga on CDs back then. And I started doing that. And first I was just cursing and sweating and I couldn't get myself into all those poses. But very soon what happened is like I realized that it wasn't about getting into the yoga poses or making myself a pretzel. It was about connecting with my inner ability to heal and to guide me, my body's wisdom. And so you were really the first one who got me on that path of true healing. So I want to thank you so much for that. And I know you bring that to hundreds and thousands of people. So I honor you both for that and welcome.
Thank you. And thank
Thank
you
you.
for telling us that piece of your history too, like how you connect in and why this matters to you.
Yes, thank you. So, let's get started right off the bat. The theme of this show is how do we connect with that inner healing power? How do we connect with our body's wisdom? So, Anna and Jose, what is your secret? What would you say about that?
I'll let Anna start. She's been in the business for over 40 years. She's
Right.
the expert in the yoga field.
Well, I do a lot of things to connect. There's a lot of different ways of connecting. And yoga has been my arena for helping me connect most easily. Being in nature and sitting and doing prayer and ceremony, these are all forms of connection. But one of the first forms that I think all of us can connect with is to our breath. We need our breath to make changes, to have clear thinking, to stay alive, to heal. And so, to the people that are listening here, if you start breathing deeply now, you'll learn more. Your mind will clear, your cells will regenerate, in a healthier way. Instead of just making a faded blueprint of the cell, it'll make a strong blueprint of the cell. When you want to make changes, you need to first change your breathing. Actually, first you need to make a decision. I want to change. I want to evolve myself, or get out of the mess I've made of my life, or that someone else made of my life, or get off this addiction. You have to make a decision and then stick with it. Even when you fall down in those decisions, you still get back up. It's like, okay, I'm going to be sober starting right now, or whatever the decision is. I'm going to stop lying right now. I want to find out what truth is. And then set up some ethics, some life ethics, like doing yoga every day, or eating clean food that builds your luminosity, or challenging oneself to stop lying and stop believing other people's lies. That would be a very good thing to do, especially in this time of humanity where lies are everywhere. It's like, what's the truth? Who am I without all these lies? So these are just some of the things one can pick up, like right now. Do yoga every day and choose to see more than what people are telling you to look at, which is a very narrow view of reality. Choose to see the truth in a bigger perspective.
Yeah. When I came into the yoga scene in 2000, Anna's yoga scene in 2014, prior to that, I had a bit of a problem with yoga. It was kind of cheesy and pseudo spirituality. And but I liked the exercise and sweating aspect. And I had all these ideas I'd been involved with the Aboriginal people for over 30 years, the world's oldest living culture, which is a really beautiful, true spirituality, which came way before yoga, way before organized religion, way before all philosophy. And my idea was, if I could just bring all this music, shamanism, and beauty and put it into like a yoga format where you get the spiritual touch also with the physical workout, something that honors the body, the spirit, and emotions. So I think we're frozen.
Yeah, a little bit. It's still pretty good. We can still hear
So
you.
yes, the checklist was: the body needs to move, the mind needs to be stilled, the emotions need to be expressed, the spirits need to be nurtured. So when I met Anna Forrest, it was like, wow, I met her in an elevator, which was so funny. And I was hired to do a ceremony for Anna Forrest when she came to Sydney, Australia. So I had all the dancers and cultural people ready, and we went bang. We just walked into the room and did an amazing ceremony, which got caught on video. And then Anna was the first yoga teacher I met that really had the depth that I could do something serious with. Like I said, I had a lot of good yoga teachers, but there was an element of cheesiness, the oms and the shanties, and there was a little bit of spiritual diabetes. And Anna was just like, yeah, wow, I like that directness and no bullshit. And since we've come together, we've made yoga something else. We've taken yoga to places it hasn't been before, for the better, because everything deserves evolution, whether it's music, whether it's yoga, whatever. Everything deserves. Traditionalists will go, oh, never touch tradition. And that's not true. You always need to evolve or die.
Beautiful. You touch on something really important, that our bodies evolve, our minds evolve, our society evolve. We have to be continuously having that discipline of doing practices that are actually appropriate for the time and for our bodies. And I want to follow through with because Anna, you mentioned how important it is to cut all the stuff that's really not appropriate to you and start to really follow your your discipline, your own commitment, right? But I think for a lot of people, it's still a struggle because we're surrounded by obviously other people, influences. We're surrounded by social media. We're surrounded by all sorts of great advice of like, do this, do that, do this exercise, be on that diet. How do we take the first step once we sort of wake up a little and try to, you know, make real changes?
Well, we have an online series of classes that people can begin to explore Forest Yoga if they can't get to us personally. We are now back on the road and teaching live, which is amazing. But we made these classes that touch on things that we consider really good food for the spirit and for the human person, human on all the different elements. What I have discovered and what Jose and I have discussed many times is there is a spiritual bereftness in our people, like a disconnect from spirit, and pharmaceutical drugs and the teachings and everything that distracts you from focusing on yourself all make this abyss wider and wider, and then that sets us up for addiction because we're trying to fill this hole inside of us. So these practices help you find out who you are authentically without all of this social media crap pouring in about how you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to care about. And you start to go on quest for what matters to you. It doesn't get handed to you on a little program. We don't hand you, this is what should matter to you. You have to quest for it. But we give the arena for you to find out, who am I without all this crap, without all this conditioning, and begin to peel the conditioning off. It's an amazing, amazing vision quest. And then to find out, like, what are my gifts in the world? And using the practices of yoga and music and whatever else it is that like starts to stimulate me from the inside to develop those gifts. And then going even bigger than that, like, what's my purpose in being alive in this strange and changing time of humanity? That you have something to do in this world, and to stay focused on these things and not let the bully in your mind take you down into depression or back into your addictions or back into eating crap food or with your friends that you do drugs with, or whatever ways you disconnect, to choose to connect to something powerful and authentic and make that your focus, to choose to quest for and connect to your spirit and learn how to live embodying spirit. So whatever you're doing, it has this scintillating beauty of your spirit imbuing you.
There's no, Monica, there is no easy solution at the moment. This psychological warfare on the people has been going on for years, and people are waking up every morning scared, frightened, and going, oh my God, another day. So the only answer to this is structure and hard work. I'm a father of some children, so I realize that children need structure. And now at the moment, adults need structure as well. And you have to do the work. You may not feel like doing the yoga practice every day. Anna and I certainly don't, but we still do it every day. So we need that structure. Every day we need to water the garden of our dreams. Don't give up on your dreams just because the world is the way it is at the moment, because this could also present opportunities. So every day okay, some days I'm scared. I just want to sit in bed and look at the phone. No, get up, do your emails, do your business, do your yoga practice. Every day we take the time to prepare meals. The meals is a sacred ceremony for us. And then every day we do our music practice and singing practice. So, okay, wake up, you're scared, but then get busy. Don't allow the mind, fear was designed to keep us on our toes, not on our knees. And so many people are coming to Anna and I during these times with serious depression. And when I mean serious depression, I mean suicide. So there is no quick remedies. There's no pill prescriptions, certainly no pharmaceutical drug is the answer. So we got to get cracking each day and structure the day so we don't waste time, laying in bed with our iPhone watching all this nonsense.
So
Mm-hmm.
the principles that we teach is to not feed yourself garbage and not feed yourself poison and toxicity. And this comes in a lot of different forms. One of it is the way that you eat. And we advocate being vegan because that is the healthiest dietary choice you can make, but also the most ecologically sound and compassionate for the animals and the rest of the planet. So just by the choices that you make with your food, you can either help your health and your luminosity and the planet, or you can add to the destruction of it. So the choices that we can make, even in the midst of turmoil, are profound. We can choose to breathe deeply. We can choose to do our practice. We can choose to eat good, healthy food. We can choose to honor our life. It is precious.
Mm-hmm.
If you're scared or confused, so it's still precious. And start treating yourself that way with respect. You don't even know yourself. You don't even know the great mystery that you contain, and that is worthy of respect and inquiry. Finding out who
Yeah.
are you.
How can we use fear as an ally? How can we use fear as inspiration? I use it every day as inspiration. So fear gets me out of bed in the morning. Fear gets me onto the computer. Fear gets me onto the yoga mat. So fear actually is not a bad thing as long as it doesn't bring you to your knees and you do nothing. Like a lot of people we know, that's what they're choosing at the moment. And that's, you just got to work through the fear and then eventually it becomes your ally.
We have a class that we designed for our friends in China. They were doing a virtual conference and they asked us to contribute. And so we did this class called Dispersing Anxiety. And one of the keys to dispersing anxiety is taking action. So, what's the action? Get on your mat and do yoga. Start breathing deep and take that garbage in your mind and throw it out. Your fears, your sadnesses, your like ongoing recordings that you're always playing. I'm not enough. I'm too fat. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm like, I can't ever get what I want. Take all that shit and throw it out. And then quiet your mind and start feeling how do you use the good medicine of the poses and of the deep breathing to create an environment worthy of your spirit.
Yes. And fear, I mean, we can use that sympathetic response, right, as moving us to action. I love that how you reframe fear. And, Anna, and you also talk, I think expanding of the topic, you talk about being a guardian of our body and our mind. Can you explain that more to our viewers?
Yes, this is another daily action is when you're on social media, are you feeding your mind garbage? Are you feeding your mind more and more lies and more things to frighten you into being inactive? Can you put down the things that poison you? So whether it's alcohol or cigarettes or your antidepressant drugs or whatever it is, and spending hours of your life on social media, this is crap. Go for a walk, go hang out with a tree, do some yoga, learn some music. I've been learning music from Jose and also from a friend of mine who's a music teacher we're doing it by Zoom, but at 65, I'm starting to learn how to play the keyboard. And I'm very excited because it's starting to get past the plink plink into a beautiful noise and beginning to give expression to some forces inside of me that I've never quite tapped before. So it's a really lovely unfolding. And yet it's also that discipline of sit down and do this.
Yeah. It's another thing that I bought into Forrest Yoga, and that's connection with the arts, be it doing music, acting, singing, writing. The yoga is not enough, because the yoga continues when the mat, when we're off the mat, the yoga just keeps continuing into areas of eating and the way you occupy your time. So introducing connection to the arts has been absolutely amazing. And we've seen at our teacher trainings people who dropped singing for 23 years, and I dared them to get up and sing again, and reconnecting them to violins and flutes and piano has been absolutely amazing, and it's been part of the healing process.
And people have a tendency to think someone else is going to do it for us. And that's not going to work. Like what people like us, like teachers, is we can teach the class, we can present the concepts, but for example, to learn how to get your optimum nutrition, you have to feed yourself. You have to make those decisions and then eat. You have to do the yoga. We can't do it for you. And we have been raised with this sort of apathetic laziness in our mind about our evolution. And it's like, grab a hold of your evolution with both hands and run with it. Go, come on. You can turn in any direction, any aspect of your life, and you can begin to work your own evolution. There is nothing more sexy than that.
Beautiful. Wow. Since you mentioned you were learning how to play keyboard, I want to ask you, let's talk about life transitions. Because, so many people I hear like, hey, I'm getting old, like my life is just ending. I'm like, I don't deserve even to feel good or to be active because I'm whatever, 55 and I'm getting old. How do you reframe this whole thing, this obsession with like getting old in our society? How do we transition beautifully through time in our bodies as they evolve?
See, in our culture in Australia, in all indigenous cultures, when they are traditional and true, the elder is the respected person. The elder holds the knowledge. The elder is the center of the tribe. But in the West, the elder is just disregarded, thrown in a nursing home, and put on medication. And this is totally wrong. It's never too late. As we get older, Anna and I, our life becomes more and more beautiful. As Anna said, she started keyboards at 63 years of age. And for her, just playing a small line on a piano is like a gold record. To her mind, that's the same as a gold record. And this is why people go, oh, it's too late. I know some people 35 years old, oh, it's too late to start music lessons. I'm 35. I should have done it when I was 16. However, there's people in my company, my indigenous company, Descendants. One of our elders, she made her first album at the age of 68. So it's absolute rubbish that it's too late. There's plenty of time. And even when you die, you don't die, you carry this skill into the dream time. The dream time is a place that my people visit, the Aboriginal people of Australia. So this is where we get our inspiration to consciously walk into the dream time. People call this a religion, the dream time, but it's not a religion. It's a place where my people in Australia got all their inspiration, because dreams are wiser than men. A dream knows no boundaries. And what our shamans have learnt about the dream time is actually life is the illusion and love is the dream. Everything's back to front. The dream time is a higher vantage point of reality than this waking life that we have now. So, it's a beautiful culture, the Aboriginal people of Australia. And it's certainly been one of my inspirations to bring some of this magic to the yoga world.
And if you're alive, no matter what age you are, you can take action. And the action may be something as simple as start deep breathing and drink more water to clean your blood and to rehydrate your brain. So let's say that you haven't been moving for 25 years and everything hurts and the only way you can get through the day is on painkillers. It's like, start yoga. Find a yoga center close to you, or do an online program where it is gentle enough to take you from where you're at and progress you and start to move the pain out of your body. So a lot of people think like, oh, I should be this to do yoga. It's like, if you're alive, yoga will benefit you. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're missing limbs or if you're sick or if you're whatever it is. You start where you are and you progress from there. And if you can get a helpful teacher, wonderful. If you need to do it over Zoom and you're working with recorded classes, that's a plenty good place to start. But what we have a tendency to do is we see a yoga pose and it's like, oh, I can't do that. And like what we do in our online programs is we show, here's this yoga pose, whatever it is. And if that's too hard, here's an easier level. Or here, do this pose instead. So you find out, well, if I can't do that yet, what can I do? Like, let's say, oh, I can't do a handstand, not this lifetime, but you can do a down dog. And that's where you'll start to build the strength and get the benefits of hanging your head upside down. And so to ask the question, this was a huge turning point, and amongst many turning points for me. Instead of quitting, to ask, well, what part of this can I do? I can deep breathe. I can clean the garbage out of my dietary nutritional strategy. And some people use this lie. Oh, it's like, I don't know nutrition. It's like, tell me you don't know the difference between a Big Mac and broccoli. Come on now. Don't even lie to me about that. You can begin to discern the difference. You don't have to study everything for how much magnesium it has. You can know, you can look and know that this food has nutrition and that does not. And as you begin to look at what you're consuming, then your intelligence about it will get bigger.
Yeah, Monica, what I wanted to add about that, it's never too late. You can start something at 60, 65. And what I was trying to get at with this dream time is that we carry our talents over into the world of the spirit when we lose our body. So life is an unending, never ending routine. So you will take these skills into the next life, and the dream time is the next life. This is what our people call the life to come after the body. Some people call it the astral plane. People call it all sorts of different world, but the world to come is the dream time or the astral world. So even if we begun something at 65, we bring that skill into the world of the spirit. You never lose that skill. All the treasures we accumulate each lifetime are never wasted. They are imprinted in the eternal soul.
And you have a chance, like, to assess your life is, can you move forward with the desire to become a wisdom keeper for yourself and for your people? Or do you just move forward to become a toxic old hag? That's your choice. Personally, I don't want to be a toxic old hag.
No, we're elders. We are elders.
We're wisdom keepers. And wisdom is a growing, evolving thing. It's not just a book in a library. And that's one of the things that we contribute to the entire field of yoga, which is vast and deep, is living wisdom and a place to evolve. So it's a tradition needs to be living in order to stay relevant.
Yes.
So with the guardian of your own mind, what do you take in as true that isn't? To start to discern the difference between what is toxic for you and what is truly virtuous and nutritious for you in your food, in your activities, in your friends or your people that you hang out with. To begin to make these assessments every day. Like if you're working in an office situation and there's certain groupings of people that are toxic and they're gossiping and doing all sorts of foul things for each other, remove yourself from that group, go back to your workstation and go to work. You may not be able to leave that job because of it, but you can remove yourself from that toxic situation. And the more we do this, the stronger we get.
Beautiful. Yes, it builds as a habit. And also, what you bring is that profound importance of ceremony. And what I'm getting, that there's a need for humility too, because I think, we may want, oh, I want to like get it all now. And if I don't get it all now, if I don't do all the handstands and everything, I'm like, oh, no, not worth it anymore, right? But I think that's what I've been learning from you is that humility. Well, maybe I can do just a piece of that yoga pose and just make it simpler and just honor my body that way instead of trying to get there and trying to make it perfect.
We have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of perfect is, again, looking at a pretty picture from the outside. And it's good to change your goals. Like, can you feel the energy strumming through you? Can you bring the energy of the pose into an area that maybe has some old injury? Like, oh, you had a hip socket replacement, or you fell and you hurt your spine. And you start learning how to guide the energy that the pose is generating, and you guide it into these wounded or shut down areas, and they change. It's so exciting. And this is what you can do in the yoga poses, whether or not it's like the most pretty pose to look at from the outside, is like, that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they're beautiful. When someone does them and they have that life force moving through them, it is a beautiful thing to see. But that's secondary. It's like, go inside, do something with the work, with the energy that you're building, and it's magical and healing and astonishing.
Yeah. Usually people don't have the patience. They want to do it all straight away, the handstands, the forearm balances, the difficult arm balances. But you must be patient and just work towards the bigger stuff. The same can be said about Anna learning the piano. At first, you're playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, just be patient, Anna, and it will come. And now that Anna's got through that stage of like wanting to do everything like straight away, she can play a song on the keyboard. The same applies. It's not just yoga, it's all stuff in life. This applies, that we must have patience and mindfulness to do the stuff.
You have to earn it. And learning how to learn is another wonderful thing to bring your attention on. It's like all the things that we've been taught about learning are a lot of garbage too. So it's like, how do you learn with an open mind and an open heart without the judgment that is so discouraging internally? That's that bully in the mind. Just tell the bully, go on a vacation to Hawaii and don't come back. Don't come back. Just go ride the waves and sit in the sun. Bye-bye. And every time the bully starts up like, oh, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I can't do it, blah, blah, you have to be a dancer or, a contortionist. It's just like, go away. Stop believing the bullshit. Stop.
Yeah, like Anna and I weren't born flexible. Far from it. So, we weren't born flexible, just we work hard because we do 2 hours yoga minimum at least every day. Some days 4 hours when we're teaching. We do the class, then we do the class again with the students. And the same goes with piano. Anna was putting in 5 minutes a day, then it became 10 minutes a day. You get the results from the time that you put in, but you must be patient to where you're at. Even me on the piano, I'm a pretty good player and composer, but I want to be like Mozart now.
Right.
But I just go, nope. I'm okay with where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and to honor, like I am now able to very slowly play one of our songs, which is Spirit Eagle. And so that makes me happy. Is it beautiful yet? Is it something I want to do in front of a group of people? Not yet. It's not ready for that yet. But it's progressing, and I'm getting a chance to develop a part of me that never got to. That's exciting. If I decide like, oh, I have to be at concert level, then I just sabotage myself because I'm not at concert level. I'm
Yeah.
not yet. And I don't care if I get there or not. I am doing this for my own evolving, for my own development, for my own pleasure, and for my own soul satisfaction, as in spirit satisfaction. So, one of the things that I think is really important is, instead of feeding our addictions, what if we shifted our priority to finding out what feeds our spirit and make that part of what we do every day? So, walking in nature, being with the people that we love, doing yoga, eating delicious, nutritious, brilliant food,
Playing
playing
music,
music, doing ceremony.
connecting with animals. We love the deer and the eagles and vultures and all the animals that we have here. Animals are our teachers and spirit guides. And yeah, you just, there's no quick solution to this. You just have to really motivate and build your own hope. We can point people to the hope and tell them what we're doing, but ultimately the listener has to structure a day, constructive days. And there's nothing worse than taking your pill prescription and laying down, watching your iPhone.
Yeah,
So
it's a waste
with
of life.
with communing with nature, it's like find a tree that you like, or sit out in the sand, or sit with a rock. Like, one of the things I really love about Arizona is the rocks.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the rocks like in Sedona, in the canyons, and beautiful, powerful strength. And to sit and learn to quiet and listen to the rocks. Listen. It won't talk to you like a human will. It's got a different energy flow, and to learn to let your bones learn from the rocks. Or when you see a falcon go by, or if you're a city person, it might be a squirrel or a pigeon. It's like, have a sacred pause and commune with that being. Just enjoy. There's a wild one.
Yeah, we put the same creative energy into everything we do, whether it's email, whether it's composing music, whether it's composing yoga, or whether it's preparing meals. So, one thing that I bought into Forest Yoga in 2014, I made Forest Yoga a vegan friendly place, an animal friendly place. And at the time, Anna had no idea how to cook or prepare food or anything like that. But now, together, we are constructing a daily masterpiece, and our eating has become like a ceremony. We prepare our salads, we steam our vegetables, we saute our vegetables, we put together a daily masterpiece of food. And again, Anna started from scratch, and now Anna is helping me construct extraordinary vegan meals. And then we teach that also in our courses, how to do just the basics to look after yourself, because food is such an important part of the day. Like in yoga, we're learning about anatomy, which is also important, but we're missing the big one, which is what we eat. And what we eat usually is what is poisoning us. And when you consider that 72% of all deaths in the USA are related to food and lifestyle, then this is why I make food a priority ahead of anatomy. Yes, you can learn about all your bones and muscles, but if you're eating this garbage filled with poison and nanoparticles of heavy metals and plastic, you are, you're causing your own downfall just by the food you take every day, 3 times a day.
And so, in this time of hopelessness, that so many people are like, oh, there's nothing I can do, and this apathy, it's like, there's so much you can do for you. Start with you. And for people that have a family, start bringing healthy things into the family, or start learning how to use deep breathing when you're in an intense situation in your family, so you don't go off and explode out and do things that make you ashamed of yourself. So you can also start moving the shame out of your life, which is a very healing thing to do.
Beautiful. I love that you bring nature and the importance of, I think it's new moon today. So that we live in those cycles. We live with nature. No matter if we live in a big city surrounded by cement, there's still nature, right? I know
Yeah.
you're in a beautiful island and you probably can commune with the animals a little easier, but I think we all can do it in one way or another.
Yes, but it's taking that sacred pause of like taking the busyness of your mind and just saying, okay, take a
Mhm.
rest now. We're going to switch our perceptions to feeling our connection to nature because we actually are a part of nature, but we've lost that intelligence. And as a result, that's part of our spiritual disconnect. So like, for example, we were driving and running errands and I saw this flowering tree and really saw it. And it just blew my mind, just the incredible amount of beauty of it. Even if there's chemtrails in the air, even if we are being threatened with being locked up, even if, nonetheless, this tree is flowering and we can do the same.
Wow.
Even
Wow.
though there's
Mhm.
scary things happening in the world,
Yeah.
you can still flower.
Hmm. What a beautiful image to carry with us. We can still flower just like a tree amongst whatever else is happening. So thank you so much for that. And Anna and Jose, I know that you have offerings for people and you have new exciting projects coming on. Can you tell us more about how people can connect with you? What is happening at Forrest Yoga?
Well, we've had an absolute amazing start to the year. This is the USA tour called Dreaming Under the Sun tour.
Mm.
And we had wonderful sold out workshops in Iowa. We had an amazing retreat in New Mexico, which was also sold out. The next part of the journey is in Chicago, where we have workshops coming up in May. But the big one is we have a foundation teacher training in Rhode Island from June 3 onwards for 26 days. So if you can't be with us in person, you can do it online as well. Or if you can only afford to be with us for half the training, you can do a hybrid, half the training in person, half the training online. And then after that, we're coming to Florida, we're coming to Austin, Texas, we're coming to Salt Lake City, and we're coming to Chicago. You can find us on forest.yoga. So, despite the state of the world, Anna and I are still finding a way to come out and connect and help people because that's what we are all about. There's no greater satisfaction than helping our fellow human beings, especially now, knowing that people are suicidal, people are crazy, people have lost hope, people have lost hope in government, lost hope in corporations, lost hope in all these criminal activity happening at the top of the pyramid, and us the people are at the bottom of this pyramid and we are the ones copying the abuse. So we say, just like Anna's comment, that if a tree can still flower in these times, so can we. And everything you want is on the other side of fear. And
Hmm.
the big message from today's is to use fear as a motivation and an ally.
Hmm, beautiful. Use fear as a motivation ally. Yes, I'll remember that for today. Thank you so much. Anna, do you have one last sentence to share with us to leave us with?
Yeah, I would really love anyone who's listening is to find a way to join us because we're doing the work that we're most passionate about, and we're sharing our most precious life tools, and we want to share them with you. So show up.
Mm. Beautiful. Show up. Wow. Well, thank you so much. You brought up so many incredibly important wisdom teachings today. And I want to encourage everybody to please re listen to this and take it deep to your heart and make a commitment to yourself, just like Anna is teaching. Make a commitment to be a guardian. And thank you, Anne and Jose, today for your time. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. And I encourage everybody to please come back on the show. We have amazing teachers and healers for you to speak from their own experience. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.